Hello guys and welcome to F1 Elite League Racing. This is round 15 and this is also season 2, I believe. I think I might have just got my season wrong. I've been mixed up with the other league. I got my numbers wrong, I think. I don't know. But we are in Mexico today and this one is a very important race indeed for our championship leader Pova. He needs 6 points. Just 6 points. He needs to score 6 points to secure the championship title. But if Pova, for whatever reason, does not finish the race or score no points, if T Brown manages to score 22 points, so he'll have to win the race, the championship will not be won just yet, and Pova will have to wait one more week until he can get his hands on the trophy. But Mexico, with 3 DRS straights, I imagine it is going to be a very tricky track to try and stay in front. So strategy and undercuts will also come into play. Now it does look to be dry during qualifying, which is always what we love to see. So we'll wait for the first driver to come out of the pits and we will go on board with them on their out lap, run you through the lap, and we'll see where it takes us from there and see what times these drivers are producing. Now obviously we have got 17 drivers today, so a little bit more bigger grid than the one we had last week, which is always good news. That's always good to see more people getting involved in the league. Obviously if you do wish to join the league, it is no assist, so you don't have any racing line, anything at all, just leave me a message in the comments and I will direct you to one of the admins and I'll let them take it from there. Now we do have a Red Bull coming out, and I imagine that will be Potro. No, it will not. It will be Seattle. No, it is not telling me who it is. It looks like it is Potro. So we'll go on board with Potro. He didn't have the best of races last week. He did the spin multiple times in USA. So he will be hoping for a much better race this weekend, and we'll see what the Red Bull can produce. Now he is going out on the soft tyres, and I do believe soft, medium, soft is the fastest strategy around here. But obviously with safety cars and whatnot coming into play, strategy changes, and obviously risk comes into play as well. As the driver, it is entirely up to them, and they need to make the choice whether that is going to be quickest or not. And the Red Bull on his out lap is already spinning. Potro never lets us down to do the spin, does he? He's just getting it out of his system so he doesn't do it in his hot lap, I hope. But we'll stay on board with the Red Bull. Makes up for us missing the amount of times he spun last time in USA. So we'll stay on board with him as he goes through the F section. Now this is going to be very tricky indeed for all the drivers, especially during qualify, to try and stay on the track and not invalidate, but also want to get the most out of track limits to try and push the car as much as possible. You see Potro there just warming up his tyres just a little bit, but he will be getting his hot lap underway very shortly. Looking up, just going into turn 16 there, but on the exit now, or turn 17, he will start his hot lap now. The DRS will be wide open very shortly as he crosses the white line that is literally the finish line. So down the main straight now, you want to brake as late as possible, carry as much speed into turn 1. But you don't want to compromise yourself for turn 2, which looks like Potro has done, and now he's going to have to take a very tight angle into turn 2. And then on the exit of turn 3, you want to run wide there, but not too wide that you invalidate. You want to use as much track as possible to get your throttle down. But looking good so far for the Red Bull driver, not invalidated just yet. So now into turn 4 and 5. This one, you just want to try and, again, get your exit right as it's a little mini straight. And this one, you want to get a nice runoff out of turn 8 and then, 6, that's my apologies, turn 6 and then on to turn 7. Now here is the tricky part of the track. It is the S section. I do believe we just had a car retire, so that'll be a yellow flag. Nice distraction there for Potro, but it looks like he's kept it within track limits going through the S section now, and you can see him using the slipstream there. I believe that was and it looks like he has invalidated as well, so that's not good news for the Red Bull. It was looking like a pretty solid lap from Potro. Trying to get a little bit cheeky using another driver's slipstream, but sometimes you want to make the most of it. Now, we will go on board with that Ferrari who is just about to come over the line. I believe it is Morty. I believe there'll be more cars in front that come over the line to set their time, so we'll keep an eye on them. Racing Wheel comes across the line to set a 120.3. Now, Shea beats that by almost 3 seconds with a 117.7. Now what is Morty in the Ferrari going to do? He's going to come across the line to set a 119.1. That puts him between the two drivers and up into P2 as it stands with So who is next to cross the line? We'll go on board with Diego. We never really go on board with Diego much. He's on a hot lap now, and he has decided to go onto the medium compound tires. Now, roll. I don't. Miro. I do not. Miro goes P2 or 118.7, 1 second off the pace to Shea, but it's still enough to take P2 as it stands in the Haas. Now, I wonder if there are any other disadvantages where some drivers will be using a different set of tyres, and in fact, as I mentioned that, we will get it up so you can see the top four all deciding to start on the soft compound tyres so far as it stands. Actually, Diego is the only one on the alternate strategy right now. So we'll see what time he sets as he's coming through turns 15 and 16 now, and then on the exit of 17. We'll see what time the Alfa Romeo driver sets. It's a 120.2, so it's just enough to sneak ahead of Racing Wheel in the Mercedes as it stands. Obviously, being on the medium compound tyre, she will be a little bit slower than the soft tyre runners. So that's good enough for him to move up into P4. Shea now moves up into he stays into P1 with a 116.8. But as I say that, why is hard to pronounce. Reels, Reels, if I get it wrong, I do apologise, has now gone pole with 116.6, and behind them, I believe that was CR setting a 118.1. He now moves up into P4, and that's just set a time of a 118.9 on the soft compound tyres. That moves him ahead of Diego and Racing as it stands up into P6. Now, T-Brown is coming around the last corner. What time is he set, or has he just started this hot lap? He has just started his hot lap, so we will let him carry on with his hot lap. So Snaggletooth now is coming through the final sector. We'll stay on board with him as he'll be the next driver to cross the line. But is this going to be enough to even get in front of anybody? As it does look to be rather slow. Maybe he looks like he's actually setting himself up for another hot lap, and I believe he might have just got in the way of somebody there. That's an Alfa Romeo driver. Who is that? That looks like Diego. So maybe Diego, he did go 3/10 quicker than his previous time, but he did have Snaggletooth sat right in the middle of the apex of the corner on the outside. I guess he was trying to get out of the way, but not being able to do so. So that would have impeded Diego's lap time. But it's still a 119.9, so he did improve. Now Nesh does improve to move up to a 118.6. Oh no, Miro now improves to take back the position Nesh just stolen from him, and now Miro is up back into P5 over 118.2. Now if they can find one more tenth, they'll be able to get past that Red Bull who's currently got their car up into P4. So all eyes are on T-Brown and Pova for this one, as obviously we know that the championship is on the line, and Pova has let us know that it is a wet race. So that's going to be very interesting indeed, as there is no point, Diego, starting on the medium compound tyres, because you're going to be starting on wet tyres anyway. And that also means it doesn't matter about your tyre wear, because you're not going to be starting on these softs anyway in the wet conditions. So we'll stay on board with T-Brown as he now enters Sector 2. We'll see what he is doing lap time wise, and we'll also wait until Pova decides to come out of the pits, because he is currently sat in P16. I imagine he is just waiting for the right moment to decide to go out, and you can see Simple there is now on an out lap. And Pova's actually decided to go out now just as I say that. So we will hop on board with him very shortly. Now Reels does do a 116 flats. That's a good time indeed from him to put the Mercedes up into P1. Looks like T-Brown has actually come into the pit, so he was not happy with the time he done. And he'll be going into the pits. Now we'll go on board with Simple actually in the Aston Martin, as he has just started his hot lap, and I'm going to switch immediately. We're going to go on board with Potro and see what time he is about to do as he crosses the line. He's invalidated, so we will not get to see anything from him. Now, who else is there? It looks like, what colour car is that? I think that might be, it looks like, is that an Alpine? I think that might be an Alpine. Who No, that's not an Alpine. Who's going down the main straight right now? I can see them. But... Oh, it's Shay. Shay looks like he's just improved, but apparently don't think he has. So he's still sat in P2 as it stands. Now we have a Haas coming across the line. Now I imagine that is Jim Racing. He's just gone into the pits. Next across the line, looks like it will be Snaggletooth. No, it will be Pova. And now we're going to stay on board with Pova for his hot lap as we want to see where he can put his car among the other drivers. Now we'll stay on board with the McLaren throughout the whole lap. He does have a Mercedes just behind him. I believe that will be... who is that? That looks like it is a Racing Wheel behind him. So we shouldn't have to worry about too much about that. Now Sinful does move up into P4 of a 117.3. Exactly 3/10 off of T-Ran. We completely missed that. T-Ran has set a 117 flat going into P3. So Pover's got his work out for him now. He needs to make sure he scores at least 6 points in this race. Now, being the championship leader, you'd imagine that's possible, but in wet conditions, with these assists, anything can happen really. But he still has 2 other races to get 6 points from, so I imagine he will be able to do so. But once again, if T-Ran does not win this race, then Pova automatically becomes champion. So very difficult for T-Ran to now win the championship, but it is still possible from him. So Pova now comes across the line with a 117.8. That moves him up into P6. Now I know he doesn't want to start on the front row because this straight is so long. Starting on the front row, going into turn 1, you're in P3, P4 anyway, due to the slipstream. So it looks like Henk and F1 Mason have both retired from the session now. I'm not sure if that is due to qualifying bans or just retiring because crashing out. Now we'll go on board with Potro, as last time we was on board with him, he spun, which we don't really want to see again because he hasn't got a lap time down. But you know, another spin won't hurt. But we'll see what Potro can do now in the Red Bull as he starts his hot lap now, going down the main straight with the DRS wide open. Now it's also going to be interesting to see who has started on a wet setup and who has not, because that is going to play a massive part in the race for sure. Now I'm not too sure how wet the race is, but I do know it's a wet race, so we will see how that works. Now there is a Ferrari in front of him now. I believe that will be Nesh or Motti. We shall have a look. I believe it is Nesh. So he has got Nesh in front of him, but I believe it won't be too big of a problem. But he does seem to be getting a little bit closer to Nesh currently, the Red Bull driver. You can see the AlphaTauri getting out of the way there. Doesn't want to get in the way of anybody's lap. That will be Mooman. Mooman or yeah, Mooman. But so far, Potro going into sector 3 now. He's done a 58.4. So we'll see what he can do through the final sector and where he can put that Red Bull among the other 17 drivers. But obviously only 15 will be qualifying. He has caught Nesh quite a lot throughout this lap, so I imagine this is a fairly decent time. He comes across the line, so 117.4. It pushes Pova down 1 place and moves him up into P6. So a good result there so far from Potro. Now, is he going for another hot lap? Because he's just nicked Nesh's slipstream, but will he have enough power to go for another hot lap? It doesn't look like he will, so I imagine he won't be able to improve on his time because of that. Now, the other Red Bull driver obviously is improving on his time. If he can find 1 more tenth throughout this corner, he will be able to sneak ahead of the McLaren and the championship leader of Pova. As he comes across the line, it's a 117.8, and he has found a little bit of time in that final corner and has sneaked ahead of Pova now. So Pova is dropping down a few places. So we'll stay on board with Motti now as he is up into P4. We don't normally see him this high up. I'm just kidding. But he is currently improving on his time. Oh no, he's not. He's 3/10 down. That's okay though. It's a very quick time. It's hard to improve on, and I think that is a McLaren driver coming out of the. No, it's not. I got excited. And Potro now moves up into P3. So somehow he did find a lot more time to move up into P3, even though he didn't have full ERS. Now, as I speak, Shay and Reels doing a donut, are within less than 1,000th of each other. So that's going to be very interesting on the front row. But Potro and T-Brand are going to have a very nice slipstream on both of them. Now, who else is coming across the line? I believe that will be a Mercedes. What Mercedes is that? That will be racing. No, that will be Reels coming across the line to start a lap. No, he'll be going into the pit. So next cross line will be a Red Bull. Now that will be CR. Now I imagine he will also be coming into the pits. Next across the line after that will be Racing Will, but he is on an out lap, and well, he will be starting his hot lap next. So after him is Shay, I believe. Shay, who is also on an out lap. Then after them is Potro. Now Potro has invalidated. Monty is in the pits. Now what is Nesh doing? No, it looks like it's Diego. He is on a hot lap as well. Now that's a Haas coming through, or Miro. They are on a hot lap, but it looks like they've just locked up there, and I must say probably lost a lot of time, and they do go very wide out of that corner there, and that compromises you throughout the rest of the corners. So I don't think they're going to be able to improve on their time here, but we shall see. They come across the line. They have improved by 2 tenths, but it's not enough to move up any positions. Now if they can get that final sector right, they will be able to move ahead of Pova, and possibly even CR, as it does look like there is quite a lot of time to be won in the final sector. Now to come across the line next is the other Haas driver. It looks like he has just started his hot lap, and I believe that will be Pova coming around to start his hot lap once again. Now Moonman will also be starting his hot lap very shortly, and he is in that Alpha Tower, just giving himself a little bit of space between him and Pova so they don't get in the way. And I believe T-Brown will be also coming across the line very shortly to start his hot lap in that Alpine. Now next across the line will be Racing Wheel. Now Racing Wheel is 1/10 up on his time, but I say he's 1/10 up on his time. He has another car right behind him, and that will be the Williams, and I imagine that is the Williams of Shay. So we shall see what happens here. So Racing Wheel comes across the line. He has improved. Now Shay does go fastest by 3 tenths, so that knocks Reels down into P2. And he is coming out of the pits now because he knows he needs to go faster. Next across the line, I believe that will be Nesh. Or it will be Diego. It will be Diego. So Diego across the line. He improves this by 1.8 seconds. Next across the line will be Miro, but they will be going into the pits. Then it will be Jim Racing. He's coming around the final corner, but unfortunately he has invalidated. Now what is Pova doing? Is Pova improving on his time much or not? Obviously he probably has a wet setup on, as I know he is aware of the wet, as he informed me about it. But he comes across the line now to do a 1:17.8, nearly identical to the exact time he done previous, which isn't enough to move him up any positions at all. But next across the line, it will be T-Bran, who has invalidated. Then after him will actually be Monty, who will be starting his hot lap very shortly. And then after them will be Reels, as he has made his way around the track actually very quickly. And will be starting his hot lap very soon. Oh wait, no, sorry, it will be Racing Wheel to come across the line next, but they have invalidated. Now after them it'll be Nesh. Now Nesh, I do not know if he is improving or not, but we'll see what he does as he comes across the line, as he does get very wide into turn 16 and actually does hit the wall, and he does improve by 1/10, but obviously hitting the wall, I imagine he would have got some damage there. So next across the line will be Diego, and it looks like Diego and the Williams have made contact now. I believe that will be Shay. Yes, it is Shay. Does not have a wing right there. So I'm not too sure what has happened between them two, but they have both come together there during qualifying. You can see Diego just hobbling his way back to the pits. Now he doesn't want to get in the way of any other driver, but Pova is 1.7 seconds up on his time. Down on his time. So he won't be improving by anything. So he'll be coming into the pits. Now after him, my controller has disconnected. I'm about to... No, it hasn't. There we go. I thought my controller... Actually, that's a really good point. I need to plug my controller in before it runs out of battery. This is top quality commentary. I have to plug my controller in. Hold on, guys. We'll do it just after we see the final results now, I imagine. that is pretty much everybody done. The only person left to finish will be Nesh, but Nesh has seemed to have lost it through sector 2. Obviously, he must have fully sent it, and I don't blame him because it's the last lap, and you need 2 tenths to improve. You might as well just go for it, and you might get an absolute flyer and improve 5 tenths on your time, and therefore move up 4 positions. But it looks like he has lost it through sector 2, so we'll wait for him to come around. And actually, T-Ran is on an outlap, so I imagine he will have to just go across the finish line for us, but Nesh will come into the pits, which is absolutely fine. And now we just have to wait for T-Ran, who's currently sat in P4, to go into the pits. So, as he comes around the final corner now, we just have to wait for him to finish his outlap, and he is going to go over the line for us, so we do not have to wait. Nope, apparently he has started his hot lap, and I think the lobby is glitched. So I'm not too sure what is happening here. I will leave it up to the moderators to sort it out, as that is not my job, thankfully. So I think we will be starting a new lobby, guys. As I think this one has broken on us, which is fantastic. Yeah, the game's not ideal, is it, Pova? I mean, it's been out for how many months now, and it's still got problems with it, but hey ho. And apparently Jim Racing has got a 5 place grid penalty. Not too sure what that is for. Now I imagine somebody else will also have a 5 place grid penalty, as he can't be the only one. It looks like he is the only one, so I don't know how he's managed to get that. But I will just wait and see what happens. Oh wait, I just realised, yeah, it's good now. We don't even need to restart it. So it looks like it is a wet race, guys, which is going to make things very interesting indeed. And it's not a little bit wet, it is very wet. Okay, so it looks like we will be restarting, which is not a problem at all. We shall leave now. So, I've just pressed restart there. Oh no, it's all going wrong. And we will wait for another invite, and we'll let the moderators and everything do their job, which they do very well. And we will sit back and relax. So I'm going to quickly actually take this time to go grab myself a drink, and I'll see you when we restart the race. Alright, guys, I think the lobby is almost set up now for the race. Hopefully they haven't forgotten about me. I hope, but we'll see. There we go. I have now got the invite. We'll be hopping in. Let's not forget to turn into spectator mode. And there we go. but we'll just wait for everybody to get back in, and then we'll get back underway. Right, I believe that is all the drivers. Oh, no, one more. Oh, it looks like we have managed to gain a driver of his. Oh wait, no, we haven't. Don't worry, that's just me. Potro has gone into. There we go. So we do have 18 drivers, which we have somehow gained a driver. Not too sure who we gained. Balladin. That is the driver we have gained. So that's always good. Now we are up to 18 drivers, which is even more fun, even more people to crash. But we will wait for the moderators to give the go ahead for all the drivers to ready up, and then we will jump back straight into the race. Won't be long. That is fantastic news. Right, so it looks like the drivers are now readying up. Obviously, they did have a lot of work to do, the moderators, to make sure that the grid is all in order and that they are all in their qualifying position, and make sure that the weather is correct throughout the race. So we'll just wait for the timer to get down for the loading to work, and then we will be underway. So there you see it. Looks like the weather is identical to what it was in, well, what it said it was like, which is always good news. So we're just waiting for the drivers, obviously, to select their setup and tyre strategy and their fuel load, and then we'll be into the race. So they've only got 20 seconds to do so anyway, which isn't much time, but we shall see. And obviously this will benefit the drivers who did not have a wet setup on in qualifying, because obviously there's no way we can check that they have the same setup on. So if they forgot, then they've been let off. They've been given a lifeline here. So I'll run you through the order on the formation lap. We do have 18 drivers now, which is fantastic. So in first place, we do have Shay, who's in the Williams. He managed to take pole ahead of Reels by, I believe, 3 tenths. And he will be starting in P2. Both of those two cars will be on the front row. Pot row in the Red Bull will be starting P3. He will have the first of the slipstream to the cars in front. Then on the same row as him will be T-Brand. And on row 3 will be the Ferrari and the Aston Martin of Motti and Simple. And then we will have CR and Pova, P7 and P8. Miro will be starting in P9 in the hat alongside Diego, who will be the one that I was gonna say the last one to start on their qualifying tyres, but that is incorrect because it's wet, so they will get to start on the same tyres anyway. So he'll be starting in P10. Just behind him will be the Ferrari driver of Nesh. Currently he is down in P11. Teammate up in P5 as it stands. Jim Racing will be starting in P12 as well. I believe that will be due to the 5th-place grid penalty he had for some reason. And then we have Newman in the Alpine starting in P13. Behind him will be Racing Wheel in the Mercedes starting in P14. Then we have Snaggletooth, the other McLaren. He will be starting in P15. Then we have Henk in P16 in the Alfa Romeo. And to round it out, we have F1 Mason and Balladin in the Aston Martin and AlphaTauri. Now, obviously, these two did not set a time, neither did Henk, so we shall see them work their way through the field. But anyway, we will catch back up with Shay, who is now just about to line up on the grid, and you can see behind him the Mercedes also getting ready to line up on the grid. So we'll just wait for the rest of the cars to line up, and then we will wait for the lights to go out. You can see the lights just at the top there on the screen. Now, we never normally do get the best of angles for the lights, but we just have to make do with what we get, I guess. So that should be all the cars now lined up on the grid. You can see Ballard in just being the last one to line up there. Now the lights will go out very shortly. Now 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And they are underway in Mexico. Now this is going to be a very slow start for a fair few drivers because it is in full wets. Now it looks like the Mercedes has got a very good start compared to the Williams. He will have the inside line. You can see now Potro catching the slipstream, and he will be now moving up, trying to fit his way through the two cars just behind him. Now, who's going to be the first person to brake? Are we gonna get anybody who brakes late? You can see the Ferrari there braking a little bit late. Pova has already moved up a few positions, and the Red Bull they're actually going a little bit sideways, but Pova has managed to move up in P4 already. Motti has moved down into P6. The top four have not changed position actually. To the back, Tiran has managed to get past Potro in the Red Bull. Now the Mercedes looking to try and make a move up the inside of Potro going into turn 4 there, but it looks like the Red Bull has actually managed to get past the Alpine of Tiran. Now they're going side by side through turn 6 and 5 now, and looks like the Red Bull has got back past the Alpine that he lost out to in the first couple corners. So a little bit further back, we also have Ballardin and F1 Mason. Now I'm not too sure what happened to Jim Racing. It looks like he has fallen back a little bit. I believe he has got some wing damage from the way he is turning. So not sure how he picked that up, but he's going to have to come into the pits, and Potro going very wide there. Actually, same with T-Ram, both of them running very wide on the track, maybe picking up and exceeding track limits for that. Now Pova does have a nice little chain behind him of Motti, Fusia and Diego. Now Shea still in P1 as it stands, and you can see there the pit stop strategy is expected to be a one-stop strategy, and I do not know if the rain will get worse or not, so that is an excitement for us as we do not know what the weather conditions will be like in 20 laps time. But all the drivers fairly spread out as it stands. Actually Ballardin in the Aston Martin looking to try and make a move on that AlphaTauri driver. Now he is not going to have enough track to do so going into turn 1, but will he be able to make the move on the next turn? Again, a little bit out of shape there on the rear end. You can tell he's on the verge of, on the edge of the throttle, pushing the car to the full limit. Now going down the DRS straight, is he going to make the move going into turn 1? It looks like we have an Alfa Romeo going very wide there, but the AlphaTauri managed to keep the position. Actually, the AlphaTauri looks to try and skip ahead of Henk there, but in doing so, Henk and Mooman have managed to get caught up, but now Henk has managed to get the position back from Ballardin. So Mooman has actually lost out to Ballardin there, and Ballardin does go very wide. Looks like he must have locked up. He's going to just cut the corner a little bit there and stay where he is. But Henk managed to lose a position and then lose 2 positions and then gain a position, and now he is back up. And looks like he does go very deep there, and now Henk is actually in the wall. He's put it in the wall, and he has now lost his wings. So that's going to be a virtual safety car there, and the Alfa Romeo driver just running out of track, forgetting where the braking point is, maybe locking up and just going straight into the wall. Now a little bit further up the grid, I'll run you through who's done what. We shall see the position change. So you can see none of the top 4 actually changing positions. Pova has managed to move up 3. He had an absolute flyer of a start for the championship leader. Just behind now Tiran, and that is where Pova will want to stay. As long as he stays in 5th, Pova will be crowned champion of Season 2. Motti has managed to lose a place along the safety car restart, but he is still running in 6th, same as Simple and CR. Obviously all of those 3 lost out to Pova. Diego and Miral managed to switch positions. Nesh has stayed in the same position. Snaggletooth has moved up 3 positions, so both McLarens having a very good start in the wet there, and Racing Wheel moving up 1 position, Ballardin moving up 4, F1 Mason moving up 2, Mooman moving down 3, Henk moving down 1. Unfortunately he will be in the pits and just coming out, and then just behind him will be Jim Racing. Now we'll hop back on board where the battle is at. Now Pova is only half a second behind his championship rival, so we'll see if Pova will be able to get past, but obviously there is no rush. He doesn't need to risk it. He can sit where he is and he will be crowned champion. He doesn't need to risk it and get a DNF. A little bit further back we also do have CR trying to make his way past Motti in the Ferrari. Now that Red Bull will have a very good chance, but he does get a little bit out of shape going out of the exit of turn 17 now. And you can see there, I think that might have been a wing on the track. I'm not sure whose it was. Maybe it was Snaggletooth, because Snaggletooth looks to be going slow. It looks like, yeah, so it looks like Snaggletooth has found the barrier. So all that good work undone under the virtual safety car, or just after the virtual safety car. So he's going to now wobble into the pits. So a little bit further up, we do have Ballard in now trying to get past Racing Wheel, but as I say, the Red Bull has actually gone wide, and Diego has now capitalised on that mistake, and same with the Haas of Miro. So both of them moving up, and TR really missing out there, big time position wise. And because of that, he'll now move down a few places. But obviously, a lot of drivers will make mistakes throughout this race, so they've just got to keep up as much as they can and try their best. And they're going 3 wide nearly into turn 6, I believe that is. And Racing Wheel is the one that's actually benefited from that. Ballard then takes P13. F1 Mason is still stuck in P14. Actually, both AlphaTauris in 14th and 15th as it stands. We'll keep our eye on this little battle, but we'll also bear in mind the interval between Pova and T-Brown, as once that starts coming down, we're going to want to watch that, as that is the battle for the championship currently. So F1 Mason looks very eager to get past right now. Obviously he will be losing a lot of time due to field gap. And it's like he is actually going to try run the outside of Baladin, but he's going to get the move done before he has even gone into the corner. It's like Baladin might have just given up on that one there. Now Diego has pitted, I'm not too sure why. I imagine he must have had some damage. So he will now come out onto the track in, I believe, PL12. So there is quite a gap between some of the drivers, and I'm not too sure why that is. It's like there is 10 seconds between 10th and 11th. So Racing Wheel has got a nice nice bit of clean air in front of him, but if he keeps locking up like that, he is no longer going to have the clean air, and it looks like F1 Mason is now right on the back of Racing Wheel, and Racing Wheel looks to have actually got a very good exit, and because of that, now F1 Mason is going to be under pressure from Ballardin going into the corner. Looks like he is ahead, but now Ballardin is going to really try around the outside, and now it looks like Ballardin has actually moved done, and the move he lost during Sector 3, he's won back during Sector 1, so these two keep on swapping positions, but we'll draw our attention to Pova in the McLaren and T-Bran in the Alpine, as these two are very close indeed, but you don't get too close that you touch and lose your wing. So we'll see. And actually, as I say that, the Alpine has lost the rear end, and I don't know if he got any damage from that, but we shall see. But Pova is going to have a really easy run now on T-Ran, but it looks like T-Ran must be running a very low setup, and it's a safety car actually, so that could help T-Ran out significantly if he has got damage. But we will get back up the order of the drivers, and we shall see who has gone where. So Pova still moved up 3 places, Morty moved down 2, CR moved down 1. So the big gainers really are F1 Mason, who has gained 6 positions, and Ballardin, who has gained 4. Pova also gaining 3 positions. So good work for them so far. Jim Racing has retired from the session. I'm not too sure where he crashed. I can't actually see it on the full track map either. But the top 4 are not changing any positions so far, and actually the gap between them are quite significant. Oh, that is my apologies. I did not mean to press that. So we will wait for the drivers to get round and catch up to the safety car. So it looks like Reels has actually decided to pit now. That might be very smart, because I don't know if he's going to have to pit again now, and pitting out the safety car, he might benefit from it, but he has lost a lot of positions in doing so, and he will come out in P9. So we will hop back on, and looks like somebody's getting a little bit confused on what position they are meant to be in. Looks like Motti and Sinful, just not too sure on where they are meant to be, but I think that is all sorted out now. So T-Ran currently up 2p3 as it stands, but Pova is right behind him. But obviously it is now safety car, so they will all be bunched up, but we shall see where this takes us on the safety car restart. But it's actually very interesting to see who has pitted so far. And I'm trying to find where it is. So you can see there, those are all the drivers that have pitted so far, and imagine, depending on the tyre wear, they might be able to make a one-stop work from now, and they wouldn't need to pit again, as long as they don't get any damage. So we will see how that plays into the hands of Reelsport in the Mercedes, as he's trying to look to get past Shea, but I'm not too sure how that will work. So I imagine the safety car. Oh, actually, I don't think it will be in this lap, as the back of. Oh no, Snaggletooth has been lapped. So just gotta wait for Baladin now to catch up to the rest of the drivers, and then the safety car will be able to come in. But I do not think you will have enough time to do so. So it looks like the safety car will be out for another lap. So it looks like the safety car will be in next lap for these guys, but the lap that it's on right now, it'll be in that lap. And unfortunately for Snaggletooth, he is a whole lap down, and he can't unlap himself, which is very annoying indeed. And we shall also see who has got the fastest lap of the race as it stands, and that is Riles with a 1:31.2. Now, Shea is also up there with a 1:31.4, so only 2 tenths separate them two, less than that actually, close to the 1 tenth separates them two from the fastest lap of this race. So the safety car is in this lap, so that means the drivers will be racing once again when Shea decides to go, and it's like Shea has now put down the foot, and because of that it looks like Potro has not got the best of start. Oh no, it looks like he has. I take that back. It looks like T-Ran is actually the one under threat right now from Pova. Now something has happened at the back. I'm not too sure what has happened, but a lot of drivers are going very slow. Now I'm not too sure why they were going so slow, but I wonder who has got damage. Now Rouse is already 4.5 seconds behind, so I'm not too sure why he's falling back so much. And Pova and T-Ran, Pova has actually managed to get past T-Ran, and T-Ran will look to try and come back at Pova, but I don't think he will be able to. He does get a little bit out of shape on the exit of the corner there. I think Pova is now just going to pull away from T-Ran, and you can already see the gap formed. And actually T-Ran is under threat now from Simple. So I wonder if T-Ran does have damage, and he did pick it up on turn 16 where he went wide, and I think he might do is he's run wide there, and now Simple is going to have a very good opportunity at getting past him come this main straight. So T-Ran now under threat from Simple. Will Simple be able to get past going down the main straight, as he does look to be quite far behind, and Simple does have a little bit more ERS stored, but will T-Ran be able to keep him behind through the corners, as it does look like he is struggling. You can see how much later Simple is braking, and he's braked so late that he's outbroken himself, and because of that he now might be overtaken by Motti in the Ferrari. So now Motti is going to have a really good chance of getting past Simple, and T-Ran does not have to worry about anything. So Motti is going to try and run outside going into turn 4. It's like Simple does manage to stay ahead of the Ferrari driver. Now Pova is within 1 second of Potro in that Red Bull. He wants to win this race, I'd imagine, to win the championship, to top it off with a win, but Shea is already 2.2 seconds down the road, so I imagine if Pova can just get a podium, that will be a very good result indeed. So CR and Reels now battling for the next position, and that will be the battle for 7th place. And it looks like Reels is going to try on the inside, but it looks like he did back out now. Reels looks to be struggling. And it looks like he's losing quite a lot of time to Shea, but will he be able to make a move now going into the corner? It doesn't look like it, and he doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed, so the field gap is really affecting him now, being stuck behind these drivers. But it looks like Motti has gone a little bit deep there, and now this is the chance for Reels to get past the Ferrari, and it looks like he has done so, but the Ferrari isn't going to give up just yet, but it looks like the Mercedes comes out of the corner in front. Now, next up on the Ferrari's list will be the Red Bull of CR. And also, Pova is on now the back of the other Red Bull, or Potro. So both Red Bulls having to defend right now. One defending P2 and the other defending P6 now. We'll hop back on board with CR as it... I thought he went a little bit wide. No, he was just setting himself up for the next corner. Racing Wheel and Henk swapping positions. Looks like Racing Wheel has managed to get past Henk there to move up into P14. Now, is Pova going to be able to get past Potro here along the main straight? He is 3/10 the gap to Potro. Will he be able to do it? As he will have the slipstream, but I imagine in the wet it doesn't make too much of a difference, and you can see the straight line speed that Potro has got compared to Pova. Car just bouncing over the curves there, and you can see Potro does run a little bit wide there, and this could be Pova's opportunity to get past, but it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough once again, as you can see the straight line speed difference between the Red Bull and the McLaren is insane. Looks like Potro is running a much lower downforce there, which is going to compromise him through the corners and the S section that they are coming up to now, so we'll probably be able to make a move coming up. And as I speak, the Mercedes has also got past the Red Bull. I'm sure that happened a little bit of time ago, but I missed it because I was too focused on this battle. But now Pova just staying on the back of Potro right now. The gap now down to 6 tenths, so it has increased a little bit. Now up to 8 tenths. F1 Mason picks up a 3-second time penalty. Motti picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, Potro still ahead going into lap 14. He's still staying in P2. Now, Pova is not far behind him, but he has dropped back a little bit. The gap is now down to 1 second. Real sets the fastest lap of the race and is now right behind Simple. He is absolutely flying right now, and the gap to the leader for him is gone to the gap. Yeah, there we go. He is 10 seconds currently behind Shea, which means once Shea pits, and that looks to be a Aston Martin, and that is Simple. Looks like Simple has. Oh, getting very close there. Need to be careful when rejoining the track. Simple. But it looks like Simple did lose it and spun round, and because of that, Reels is going to have a very nice bunch of clear air in front of him now. Only 2 rounds to worry about, then it's Pova, and right now, Reels is looking a real good option to win this race, being that he has already made his pit stop. We'll go on board with the 2 Ferraris as these 2 are getting very close to each other. That is a yellow sector 2. Who is that? I believe that is Diego. What has happened to him? Looks like he has had a coming together with somebody. I'm not too sure what it is. Looks like it's Baladin. As Baladin has picked up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Diego. Now that has knocked a few drivers out, including F1 Mason. Now Potro has got a drive through for speeding under the safety car. Oh, Potro, how have you managed that? But looks like Shea comes in the pits, and that has actually given them a very cheap pit stop. Now Reels also comes in the pit, so we'll see compared to the other drivers where Reels comes out to. As we do know, Potro has got a 5-second time penalty, but he's already on the way out. Oh, he's got a drive through, hasn't he? Not a 5-second time penalty, but Nesh decides not to pit. Now, has Nesh already pit? Is the question. Yes, he has. So Nesh is now trying to go to the end of this race on those wet tyres, I would imagine. Now we shall see how old those tyres are. They are only 7 lap old, so Diego and Nesh are probably both looking to go to the very end now on those tyres, which is going to be a challenge, but I imagine it will be possible. But I'm not too sure what the tyre wear is like on these tyres. So Nesh could be looking at some very good points here if he can hold his position. Now obviously you don't expect him to stay P3 not being on the fresher compound tyres, but he might be able to score some decent points today. So we will stay on board with Shea and wait for the rest of the drivers to catch up once again to the safety car, and then we will get underway racing once again. So we shall just wait for the rest of the drivers to catch up. I'm not too sure what they are that far back doing. I don't know what has happened because I believe the safety car's already done a whole lap now. But obviously maybe they were just pitting again to have fresh tyres. So it looks like the safety car will be going around for one more lap, which is very annoying, but that's okay. I imagine it will be in next lap. And Diego has picked up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with the Red Bull driver of CR. Now that will be CR and Diego both going into the pits. So maybe there is a bit of damage to both of their cars. Not too sure what happened between them. But once again, the gap between the drivers is quite significant. Baladin is quite far behind, but now Baladin has already made his way up into P8, just behind his other teammate Sinful. And if we have a look at the position changes, Baladin has made 10 positions, and Nesh has made 8. So a good job to them so far. Motti has fallen down to P14, so I'm not too sure what has happened to the Ferrari driver there. So there is the confirmation that the safety car will be in this lap. So we shall sit back and get ready to enjoy the show, because now Pova is looking to get past Nesh and Potrow probably as quickly as he can. Obviously Nesh being on slightly older tyres, that might make things easier. Now, is Shea going to go exactly when he did last time? I think he is. And it looks like he has. So Shea has put the foot down. I don't think Potrow has reacted as well as he would have wanted. Now, Pova just behind. Looks like he's got a very good reaction there. And he is already on the back of Nesh. Now, as I say that, Reels and T-Ram will be going side by side going into turn 1. Now, who is going to brake later? It looks like Reels is going to brake later, because of that he is going to now lead T-Ram into turn 2 and moves up into P5. Now just in front of him will be Pova, and Pova has managed to just get past Nesh there. Now Nesh is under threat from all the drivers around him. Looks like he's getting absolutely swarmed on those slightly older tyres. Racing Wheel does manage to move up, but it looks like he has moved back down, so those two must be side by side. But it looks like Baladin has kept his position. Now Reels will try and look to get past Pova. Now that's not going to be that easy, and it's going to be rather entertaining for us. So we'll stay on board with the Mercedes and the McLaren and see what unfolds between these two, as I know there are other battles among the rest of the grid, but I think this is going to be the most fascinating one currently there is. So Pova, again, he only has to score 6 points, or T-Bran, if he doesn't finish, then Pova will become champion. Now once again there is a huge gap between the drivers, and this pack at the back is all just rammed together. You can see how many cars there are all together chasing them down into turn 1. I'm not too sure why the gap is so big, but T-Ran has managed to lose a lot of positions. He's now down into P10. Now if it stays like this, Pova will be ground champion. T-Ran needs to win to stop Pova from becoming the champion, and at this rate it is looking good for Pova. But currently he is under pressure from the Mercedes of Riles, so he has got his work to do to keep that position if he wants to stay on the podium. But it looks like Riles is going to try and go around the outside, and it's like Pova's not even going to bother defending it, and I think that is the correct choice. You don't want to risk it and put your car into the wall and potentially be at risk of then not winning the championship. But obviously T-Ran is so far behind. I think Pova has now got a very firm grip on this championship. Now Potro does pit, that is because he has got a drive-through penalty, so that now moves Pova up into P3 anyway. And it's like Nesh has been overtaken by Baladin now, so Baladin will move up into P4 now. One more place and he'll be on the podium, but next to overtake will be Pova, which is not as easy as, but last time I said that Pova did just let him by, but obviously Pova did not want to fight a battle that would have risked his championship. So 16 more laps to go in this race. Now we'll go a little bit further down and keep our eyes on T-Ran as well, as now he is looking to get past Motti in the Ferrari. And will he be able to do so going into this corner? I don't think he's going to have enough track to do so. Motti is going to go defensive, and because of that might compromise him into the next turn, and it looks like T-Ran, and that is a very nice move indeed, but is he going to make it stick? They do touch wheels, and because of that T-Ran nearly does get out of shape. Now that was nearly a really nice move from T-Ran, but Motti just manages to stay ahead. You can see F1 Mason right behind them, waiting to pounce on a mistake of either driver. So Shape does set the fast lap of the race with a 129.9. Now Riles does a 130.2, so he's currently 3 tenths off the pace to Shay at the moment, but there is still 15 laps left of this race. Now we hop back on board with, oh, that looks like the Red Bull Porro trying to send one down the inside of F1 Mason going into turn 15 there, and both of them actually touching, and because of that they would have lost out a few seconds on their time and potentially even picked up damage. Now Porro is going to try again, and it looks like going into turn 1, but it looks like he does back out of it this time. So that will take the pressure off of T-Ran now, not having to worry about F1 Mason right behind him. Diego and Miro, looks like Diego has finally got past Miro and has now moved up into P12. But it looks like a gap is starting to form between Motti and T-Ran. Now the gap is now down up to 1 second, so Motti is actually pulling away from that Alpine driver. And it looks like F1 Mason is making a move on T-Ran in the Alpine. Now, is he going to make this move stick? Who's going to break later? It looks like F1 Mason has got the move done. He's got the inside line, but is he going to be able to keep the position? No, he's not. It looks like he does give it back to T-Ran, but he's now going to have another go again around the outside, now going into the final corner. Now, who is going to get the position? Now, Porro might benefit hugely here, as Porro is just there and he's looking like he's trying to make a move, but it doesn't look like he's done so. And looks like F1 Mason and Porro both come together, and that is a crash into the barrier. Now, that will be a safety car, I will imagine, and that is just not what we want to see. And there is the safety car, and it looks like as Potrow just rejoined the track. Obviously, in these conditions, it is very tricky indeed, and because of that, they are now both in the wall. So we will once again wait for all the cars to bunch up, and Nesh has been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now that's not going to be what he would have wanted. So only 10 more laps to go now in this race, and currently as it stands, Pova will become the Season 2 World Champion, and that is due to Tiran just being in 6th place at the minute, even if Pova does not finish. And he has been given a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Baladin. Now I believe that will be reviewed after the race, as Baladin's not picked up a 5-second time penalty, strangely enough. Normally when there is a collision, it's both drivers that get the penalty, but it looks like Pova is the one to actually get the penalty from that. But it does look like Baladin now does not have a wing, so he's going to have to come into the pits. So there you go, Baladin has come into the pits and putting on a fresh wing. Now where is he going to come out compared to the rest of the drivers? Just like a few drivers have pitted, and now Mooman has moved up into P4. So Moonman currently running in P4. That's a very good position for him to be in currently. I believe he has moved quite a few positions up on his time. Now that is 9 positions gained from starting position. So good job to him in that Alpine. I don't think I've ever commentated on him racing, so I'm not sure if this is his debut. Actually no, I think I have seen him race before. I am not 100%, but either so, he's doing a very good job putting that AlphaTauri in P4 as it stands, obviously with no penalties as well. So if he can just keep on the back of the cars in front, he could be on for a podium here. But that is a very big challenge indeed with the likes of Pova and Riles in front of you, as we do know they have got a lot of pace. So now they are underway, and it looks like Riles is right on the back of Shea. Looks like he must have got a very good safety car restart. Now, will he be able to make a move going into turn one? It doesn't look like he's going to have enough track, but they do get very close indeed, but no contact is made. And it looks like Riles now is going to try and make a move on the Williams, but it doesn't look like he will be able to just yet. But Shea currently under a lot of pressure from Riles. Now Riles looks to have got a very good exit. Is he going to be able to make a move now going into this corner? It doesn't look like these two cars are getting very close indeed. This is some very good racing. Pova just sat at the back there hoping that both of them touch and he can take the lead of this race. But it does look like Riles has backed off a little bit to Shea, giving him a little bit of breathing time. Potro has left the session. That will be his race done. He is finished in 16th place after the collision with F1 Mason. Now Baladin has now moved up into P7, passing Diego, but Diego seems to be putting up a good fight there. We can see on the timing board. We'll actually go and have a look ourselves, but it looks like the bout is already over, so we'll hop back on board with the front runners and see what is going on there. So only 10 laps remaining of this race now, and as it stands, Shea currently leads, followed by Riles, then Pova, then Mooman. He is doing an excellent job keeping that AlphaTauri in P4, and then it is CR in the Red Bull, Nesh in the Ferrari, Bandin in P7 in the Aston Martin. Then it is followed by Diego Simple. Tiran is down in P10, Motti in P11, Miral is sat in P12 as it stands, Henk in P13, and Racing Wheel is in P14. But we will stay on board now with Pova as he is looking to get past Riles as he is in 1 second, but we'll also stay on board with Mooman and CR in the Red Bull as Mooman is putting up an amazing defense to keep these cars behind him, and he's only got to do it for another 10 laps, which is a huge ask. But if he does it, then somebody get this man a medal, because that is amazing for what he would have done, because the cars behind will be on fresher tyres. And it's like Baladin now will be looking to make a move on CR. Now things are just getting harder and harder for Mooman. He's going to have to defend from Baladin very shortly. Tiran does move up now into P9 ahead of Simple, and actually what's happened here is there been some contact, because Tiran has now moved up into P8, so that's Tiran has actually got a few moves done in one corner. That's him now up into P8 in the Alpine. Coming down the main straight now, Mooman still keeping the cars behind him, and because of that he's got a very nice bunch of cars behind. I believe that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 more just a little bit further back. But he looks to be putting his car where he should be, and because of that he is holding on to this P4 position. You can see Baladin now going for a move on the Red Bull of CR. Now, is he going to get the move done before the corner? Yes, he is. You can see how much braver he is on the brakes. Now, Baladin is going to be right behind Mooman. Now, this is going to be very difficult indeed, but it looks like Mooman has got the better exit currently. So we will stay on board with these drivers as Mooman keeps the car behind for a little bit longer. But now Baladin is going to look to get past going into this corner. It looks like he has done so. Mooman wasn't able to keep Baladin behind, but a P5 currently is still a very good position, and we know he can keep CR behind because he has been doing it for quite a few laps now. But we will keep and stay on board with these drivers as these ones are the closest. Obviously the top 3 are all separated by at least 2 seconds. Riles there setting the fastest lap of the race as well. Baladin picking up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, actually corner cutting. But now that Red Bull is 2 tenths behind Mooman, and I don't think Mooman is going to stand a chance to defend this time. So that is him now down in P6, but a very good effort to try and defend throughout the earlier stages of the safety car restart. But behind him is T-Rant, who is currently on an absolute charge, trying to get as many points as possible. He has already moved from P10 to P7, and now he'll be looking to try and get past Mooman to move up into P6. There is only 8 more laps left of this race. Now Shay currently leads with no penalties. And that is a yellow sector 1. Who is that? I believe that is a Haas car of Miro. It looks like Miro has lost a wing, and because of that, that is another safety car. And that is going to be music to ears for Shay, because he has not got any penalties, and he's just going to be sat behind the safety car. I mean, actually, no, that's probably not ideal. He was 2 seconds ahead, wasn't he? So, once again, we'll stay on board with Shay and wait for the drivers to get round the track. And Shay has come into pit. Now, I'm not too sure why he has done that. Maybe his tyres are going off. Pova has decided to stay out. Riles has also come into pit. Is that because they keep their position? Where they'll be? Where is Shay going to come out compared? I think... So, they come out P3... P3 and P4. And it looks like they have got racing wheel right in between the two drivers, which is not what Riles would have wanted. But now Baladin is moved up into P2 and Pova is in P1. So he's going to have to defend probably for around 4 to 5 laps. So is the safety car in this lap? It is not. So that will be another lap for the safety car to come in, and I imagine that will now be onto lap 30 for Pova. So 6 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. 1 more behind the safety car. That will probably remain 5 more laps of racing. So Pova could win this race. And what a way that would be to round off the championship. To win the championship and win the race. Obviously there are 2 more races after this, but it's always nice to win it early. So is the safety car in this lap? I don't think it will be actually, because of how far behind Diego is. Now Diego's actually chucked on the intermediate tyres. Is that what? No. So Diego has took a gamble here and gone onto the intermediate tyres. So has Racing Wheel. And Diego seems to be cutting corners, but it doesn't look like those intermediate tyres are working at all, and he is going to come into the pit, so that'll be another lap for the safety car, I would imagine, but I believe it can only do up to 3 anyway, so let's see what tyres everybody is on. You can see somebody locking up there. I think that might have been T-Brown. But yeah, it doesn't look like the intermediate tyres do work at all, so the wet compound tyres will be going on. So 5 more laps of this race, 1 under the safety car at least. That means there'll be 4 laps of racing remaining. So there you go, the safety car is in this lap, so there will be 4 more laps of racing as Pova backs up the field, and he's got 4 more laps until he is crowned the champion of F1 Elite Racing. So we will wait until he decides to put his foot down. And it looks like he is gone, and he has done a very good safety car restart indeed. Baladin is already over a second behind him, and it looks like Shea has lost something. I'm not sure what's happened to Shea, but crucially T-Brown has retired, so I can now confirm Pova is the champion of F1 Elite Racing. If he finishes races, if he finish this race or not, Pova is now the world champion of F1 Elite Racing. So a huge congratulations to him. Now he'll just be driving now to take home the win, I guess, to add to his collection of wins already in the season. But crucially as well, Shea looks like he is now down in 9th position, and I'm not too sure what happened there, but I'm sure there will be replays of it in the incident chat, and we will then find out what actually happened. But so far Pova is pulling away. Now the gap is up to 1.4 seconds between him and Baladin. He is looking to absolutely fly ahead and win this race with, well, being the champion. So all the cars are quite spread out currently, and Pova just bringing it home now, and you can see it doesn't look like he is taking too much risk, and because of that Baladin has caught up significantly, and they can go. T-Brown has left the session now. Racing Wheel still has not passed T-Brown up. It's because he is about to very shortly. You can see the debris on the right there, and now Racing Wheel should be ahead of T-Brown. Now that's Diego. What's happened to Diego? Looks like he has gone into the wall on the last corner, and that's another safety car. So where is the safety car? You can see it there on the second DRS straight. So I imagine the safety car will only be able to be out for 1 or 2 laps because they have to do a lap of racing. So it looks like the safety car is coming in this lap. So now that'll be 2 laps of racing for Pova, and there seems to be quite a lot of stuff happening among the rest of the drivers. Henk is now up into P4. Not too sure how that has happened, but Pova is now 1.6 seconds clear of Baladin. And you see CR there picking up a 5-second time penalty. Now if we have a look at the penalties, it looks like everybody but Pova has got 8 or 11, and I imagine Pova will want his 5-second time penalty taken off because I do not think it was his fault, as somebody went up the back of him, I'm pretty sure, and the safety car. I'm not too sure what happened, but all he's got to do now, he's pretty much won this race as long as Riles does not get past him. So Pova going into the final lap now, and I imagine he will be ahead of the final lap, and he'll probably want to be ahead for the final lap as well, as it comes to an end. But obviously with Riles behind him, with the pace he is currently showing, it's going to be quite tricky for Pova, but even so, with penalties he will still get that position. So now Pova just staying ahead of Riles as they just finished the final lap of the race, and then we can officially crown Pova as the Season 2 World Champion of F1 Elite Racing. But Riles seems to want to party crash and ruin that show for Pova, as he wants to win this race, but obviously Pova wants to win this race as it's going to be his championship winning race, but I don't think Riles cares too much, and they do get a little bit close. Now Pova is not going to put up too much of a fight. Now Pova will not finish the race in P1, but due to penalties he will still win this race. So as they come across the line, Pova will win Season 2 ultimately and become the world champion. Miles will take P2, Baladin will take P3, Hank will come across the line but he will not stay in P4, Moti will move up into P4. Mooman will come across the line, actually sorry, Mooman will take P4 and Moti will take P5, Sinful will take P6, Hank will take P7, Shay will come home to recover to take P8, Miro will take P9 and Racing will take P10. Now we will get our championship winner in to the party to speak to you guys and just ask him a few questions about how he's feeling and to congratulate him ultimately on an amazing job that he has done. So we will just wait for him to join the party and then we will congratulate him and hopefully we'll get a few words. So hopefully Pova will find his way into the stream. I'm not too sure, I think he might be struggling a little bit, that's fine. And there he is, our Season 2 World Champion. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How are you feeling after that race?
That very hard work.
Yeah.
About the penalty light when I got tagged by.
I think it was, yeah.
Well, it be Darwin, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might have been an AlphaTauri or an Aston Martin. I'm not too sure, but that looked like very tricky conditions out there.
Yeah, it's very hard, very hard. I'm just glad I've won it, to be honest.
Yeah, you done.
That this season. At 47-year-old
No, you done a very strong performance, and to obviously take the win at the end of the race as well. Obviously, I know that was due to penalties, but you didn't need to risk it defending and possibly causing yourself a collision.
Obviously, let him go, do you know what I mean? Where I need to let him go. There's no point fighting him. If I want the title, then it's let him pass, you know what I mean? No point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, congratulations. You've done an amazing job all season. And
yeah, I'd like to thank Mason at League as well, and obviously you and other guys in League, and hopefully let's bring it on next year.
yeah, you got the title to defend for next season now.
Don't even go there. But yeah,
well, you enjoy it, and
yeah, we'll do this.
congratulations.